Okay, this time I will go over FRQ 2018 non-calculator session. So it's gonna be simple. So question is asking find f of 7 and f prime of 7, right? So how you do this one, it's gonna be very simple. But let me use blue pen because now colors will actually change while I'm going over this one, okay? So f of 7. So this graph is G, it's not F, so you have to be careful. But f of x is equal to 3x plus x of z and g of t, right? So let's try to find f of 7. So this question is very nice to you because if they only ask you this one, this is gonna be, you will not even, it's gonna be difficult to figure out what the question is asking, but it's gonna be step by step. So it's gonna be 7. So f of 7, only thing that you have to do is you plug in 7 here. So it's gonna be 3 times 7. 7 plus, instead of x, I'm gonna put 7 to 0, g of 7 dt. So 3 times 7 is 27. So this one is basically area under the curve. So from 0 to 7, so it's gonna be from 0 to 7. So it's gonna be all area from here to here and until 7, so it's gonna be here. So you're trying to find area here. So let's do this one. For this one, for this here to here is a 1, here to here is a 3. So 1 times 3 is equal to 3. So area of this rectangle is equal to 3. Now radius is what? 1, 2, 3. So radius is 3. So it's gonna be pi r, which is radius square, but since it's a semicircle, it's gonna be over 2. Okay, so what you gotta do is it's gonna be 27 plus it's gonna be, what is it called? So here 3 squared is a 9, so it's gonna be 9 pi over 2 plus 3. This plus 3 comes from here, so 9 pi over 2 plus 3. That's what it is, okay? So when you actually add them up, that's gonna be, what's it called? Wait, why is it 27? It's a 21. I'm sorry. If you found my mistake already, you're good. So it's gonna be 21, plus 9 pi over 2 plus 3. So therefore it's gonna be 24 plus 9 pi over 2. So I believe when it comes to non-calculus session, this portion is gonna be 1 point, I believe, or 2 points. 2 points, I think. 2. Yeah. So first question is gonna be 4 points, I think, in total. Now let's try it. F prime of 7. Now derivative of 3x is gonna be 3 plus derivative of, now watch this one. Derivative of antiderivative, they undo each other. So only thing that these two disappear. So only thing that matters is this x goes into here, which is g of x. But again, we are looking for 7. So instead of x, I'm going to plug in 7. Okay. So 3 plus, what's the g of 7 going to be? When 7, y value is equal to 3. So 3 plus 3, so this is going to be 6. Okay. So just be careful. Not be careful. Just be aware. dx. Let's say you have like x over 3 and g of x. Remember, no, not g of x. Let's say this is t, and these two disappear, so you get g of, instead of t. Now you only plug in x here. Okay. Minus g of 3, I believe, but sometimes that's not the case. So let's see how it goes when we go over this one. Right, let's look at B. Question is asking find the value of x in a closed interval -4 to 3, which f attains the maximum value. So you're trying to find maximum value. Maximum means going up, going down, positive to negative, right? When does that gonna happen? increasing, decreasing happens when you have the first derivative. So let's do this. F of x, so here, f of x, f prime of x is equal to 3 plus g of x. So we already have this one here, right? We already got here. So it's going to be f of 3 plus g of x. That's what you have to get. Now, since we have this interval, what we have to do is we are going to plug this number in. So f prime of -4 is going to be 3 plus g of -4. G of -4 is, look at this, -4, do you see here? G of -4 is equal to 2. So this is gonna be 2. So it's gonna be 3 plus 2 equals 5. F prime of 3. Now, pause the video, and try find this one by yourself. That's what you get. G of 3 is right here, so this is gonna be -3. 3 minus 3. Therefore, this is gonna be equal to 0. Now, do you see, in order to be a maximum, you should have increasing and decreasing at the same time, right? But look at this one. When it is -4, it is 5. When it is 3, it's gonna be 0. But I don't know if there is a negative between. So what I mean positive, negative is it should be positive number and the other one should be negative number, right? But we don't know if there's any negative numbers. So f prime of x does not decrease on interval -4, 3. Because do you see it's from 5 to 0, so we don't know when that's gonna be it's gonna be 5 to 0. It's connected, so there's no negative between here. So since there is no negative sign, this 0, and this is the lowest number, that's gonna be the maximum point, because it's keep 5 to 0, it's keep positive, and at this point that's gonna be the maximum point. So t equals 3, which is the where you got 0. This is gonna be must be the maximum point, because when this keep going up and it's going down here, right? And do you see this is the 0 slope? So that's what it means. It's a positive slope. It's keep going up and eventually it's slowing down. At here it becomes 0. And do you see at this point now you're gonna now have a negative number like -1, -2, -3, right? Therefore, this is gonna be the highest point, maximum value, when this is equal to 0. Okay, that's what you need to know. So let's do question number 3. For its limit. Okay, do you see negative and positive? Whenever you have a question like this, you're trying to see if they are equal to each other, then it's gonna be that's gonna be the slope, and if they are not equal to each other, then it's gonna be undefined. Okay, so let's do this. I mean, limit does not exist. So let's look at it. Limit x approaching to 0 from negative side, g prime of x. That's what you're trying to find, right? So let's look at here. If you look at here, what's that called? Wait a second. 0 from negative side here. Do you see here? What's the slope? So you're trying to find prime, which means the slope. Remember, g prime of x is a slope. So what is the slope of when g is equal to 0 here? Do you see this is a constant rate of change? So what's the slope? It's a rise over 1. 1 down, -1, 1, 2, 2. Therefore, slope is x is -1/2 when it comes from negative side, which is left. So this is equal to -1/2. What if I find this one from positive side. Positive side, so it's here, but it's gonna be extremely difficult to find slope. But do you see it here? It's keep going here, but at this one, it's gonna be like vertical line here at this point. So this is gonna be the undefined slope. Okay, because it's gonna be like here. And if it was like here, that's gonna be zero slope. Just keep that in mind, okay? So that's undefined slope. So they say find the value, right? Usually, if these two are equal to each other, like for example, let's say this one was a negative 1/2. In that case, limit x approaching to 0 is gonna be negative 1/2. But do you see they are not equal to each other? They are not equal to each other. Therefore, if you want to finalize your answer, you have to write limit x approaching the 0 from negative is not equal to limit x approaching 0 from positive side. Therefore, limit x approaching 0 does not exist. It's like that simple. Now we got this one here. Oh, it's simple. Now question is saying find the derivative when x goes to negative 2, right? So it's gonna be very simple. Let's see, first of all, let's see what happens if we plug in negative 2. So what I'm trying to do is f of negative 2 plus 7 e to the 3 times negative 2 is negative 6 plus 6 is what? 0 minus 1, right? So first let's find f of negative 2. What's f of negative 2? Do you see here? F of negative 2 is 3 times negative 2 plus 0 to negative 2 g of t, right? So 0 to negative 2. Do you see 0 should be on the top and then negative 2 should be in the bottom? So after I find this one, I'm going to flip the sign, okay? So here, 0 to negative 2. What's the area? Because antiderivative means area under the curve. So this one is going to be 2. So base is 2, height is 1, divided by 2 times 1 is 2, divided by 2 is going to be 1. So this is going to be 1, but do you see 0 to negative 2 is like opposite sign? So that should be negative 1. Plus 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. So that's going to be negative 7. If you do not understand what I mean here, just listen carefully. It's not from negative 2 to 0, it's from 0 to negative 2. So it's the opposite direction. So whichever you get in this area, you just flip the sign, okay? And some of you ask, Mr. Kim, this one is like under the curve. Why don't you subtract it? Oh, well, ask me later about that one, okay? But here, so this one is gonna be same thing as negative 7 plus 7 e to the 0 is gonna be 1, so it's the 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0 over 0. So do you see this one cannot be happening? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do L'Hopital's rule, which means limit x approaching to negative 2. You're gonna drive this one. So f of x plus 7 will only become f prime of x over, when you drive it, it's gonna be e to the, let me write it down here. E to the 3x plus 6 minus 1 will disappear times derivative of 3x plus 6 is gonna be 3. That's what you're gonna get. So let's do this. So now I have to find what the heck is f prime of negative 2. So let's go back here. Do you see you have to go back and forth a lot of times here? So I'm gonna use green color. So now I'm gonna drive it. We already know it's gonna be 3 plus g of t, like g of x, right? Because we already got the derivative here. We already know this one here. So when you drive it, antiderivative and derivative undo each other, so you only plug in x here. So we got this, but we are looking for limit of -2. So here it's gonna be 3 plus g of -2. So let's look at it. So it's not area under the curve. This one is just y value. So g of -2 is right here, which is 1. So it's a 3 plus 1. So what do I get? 4. So first one, this is gonna be 4 over 3 times. Do you see if you plug in -2, this one is gonna become 1. So 3 times 1, which is gonna be 4 over 3. That's it. So it's easy like this. Just you have to go back and forth. Just don't panic. Even if you could not do question number C, you could have done on D. So always don't give up. Okay. That's it, guys. I will come back to the next video. See ya.